Yes.
Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Vahid, and today I want to talk about using HTML to add cool features to your Power BI reports. What I want to talk about today is all about using the HTML code, some useful tags of the HTML code, not all of them, some part of that in your reports to add some cool features there. But before that, I want to say thank you to the organizer team of this bootcamp, the Microsoft Bees app Urdu and Hindi bootcamp. Really appreciate that, and thanks for having me. And I want to say thank you to all sponsor of this bootcamp to give us this option to gather as a community and improve our knowledge with each other. A little bit about myself. I'm Microsoft Data Platform MVP and certified trainer. My background is all about the project management consultant. I started my job as a project scheduler, then project control, and then 5 or 6 years ago, I found out okay, I like the data and data analyzing. I like to create tell the story with data. So I changed my job, and then from that moment, I've been working as a data analyst. Right now, I'm working in the Fulton Hogan company in Sydney, Australia, as a data program data lead, and I'm a super user in the Power BI community. If you want to search on the community, my handle there is VahidDM, and you can find me there. I'm a leader at the Persian Power BI user group and the blogger and learner. I have a blog, weblog, normally one or two weblog I share on that website. It's just my whatever I learn, I just share it there, not only for the people to share knowledge with them, but also to keep the record for myself because I use them many times. So that's pretty much about myself. Let's check what we want to do today, the agenda. So first of all, I want to start using HTML tags. I want to show you how to use the HTML tags like a paragraph, heading, and then how to change the size of the font. For example, how you can give the option to the end user to add a slicer to the report and give this option to end user to change the color size of that text box. Imagine you have a report, somebody forgot to bring the eyeglass, the prescriptive eyeglass, and then they want to read the text box and those information you provided on your report, but they can't read those phones because sometimes those phones are very small. So with this option, you can give them this ability to change the font size. It's not possible right now, but with the HTML we can do it. I will show you that. I will show you how to add some scroll and adjustment to how to use the Google font there. And then at the end, I will talk about how to use some tags to import to show the images with HTML tags, and then the GIF and the video. And then at the end, we can have the question and answer, but feel free to raise your question in the chat box or just unmute yourself and raise it during my presentation. Okay, that's pretty much everything about my presentation. All my presentation is demo, and as you can see on the screen, it's Daniel Marsh Patrick. Why I show his face on my report at the first page, because in this session I want to use his custom visual. So if you want to use the HTML tags in your on your Power BI reports, you need to use the customized visuals. It says so. If you want to get that, you need to go there, get more visuals, and if you search for HTML, then you can find some different visuals. But today, I want to use the. Let me just zoom it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so today I want to use this custom visual, which has been created by Daniel Marsh Patrick. So I added his photo here to say thank you to Daniel Marsh Patrick. If you don't know Daniel, you can search on the net. He created many visuals, around 4 visuals, and one of the most powerful one is the DNF. So I just added his page here to say thank you. You can find his information and how to connect with him here. So let's head to the paragraph. So the first topic. So as you can see here, the what we want to talk about is paragraph, style, font, Google font, marquee, and image and video at the end. So I need to be a little bit fast because I need to cover this session in 45 minutes. So I will do my best to explain everything during this session in that 45 minutes. So text box on the Power BI report. You can write the text box here if you want to add the, for example, click on the text box here, and then you can write whatever you want here. So you can write it here. You can change the color of that. You can use some measures on it, but it's not that intelligent. If you want to say, I want to give this option to the end user to change the size of that, or I want to highlight those fonts with different color. It's not possible with this text box. So, but with the HTML text box, we can do it. So, first tags we need to know is H1 and P. So those two are the important tags in HTML. The H1 to H6 are tags the tags are used to define HTML heading. The difference between them is the size of them, but the P is the tag define the paragraph. The difference again between P and H1 to H6 is the in a H1, when you use a heading, it's a bold color, bold font, and with the bigger size, but the P is different. It's just a paragraph, and then you need to add some style to them to bold the font or make the font size different. So if you want, I need to create a, okay, so let me add first this HTML visual here. So this is the visual that has two field here. I want to use the values, and if you add a measure, a column which has the HTML code in the with those double quotation, you can use that here. So I created this measure, nothing in there. So if I want to add it here, I need to keep my my HTML code between two. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, two double quotations. So whatever I want to write, I need to keep it between these two double quotations. And if I copy the code from the internet, because in the HTML code we use this double quotation before we add it here or paste it here, we need to make sure to convert all double quotation to single quotation. So first of all, I want to check the H1. So I will check H1, and then I will write my text here. So the Bees app, for example, apps Urdu in the boot camp 2022. So, and then at the end, I need to close that one, this one. So click enter, and then if I add this to the value, this HTML one here, that will show the text, but a little bit bold and with a bit big font. So if I change that to H6, then you can find out what's the difference between those H1 to H6. So it will be a little bit smaller. And if I change it to the P, that will be just the paragraph. So, and in this session, I want to just use the P and then add the style to those to the text bar to my text. So I added this one here, and the only thing I want to tell you. So now I created this measure. If I add it to the card, because I change that to the card, you can see that will show everything between those double quotations. So we consider that as a text, but when I use the HTML one, that will consider everything between these two double quotation as a HTML code. Because of that, you can't see those P start and the end of the piece. So okay, that's it. That's pretty much everything about the paragraph. So now we wanna add some style to our code. So we wanna change the color of the font. We wanna change the background color of that, and then we wanna add this font size to it. So I will just copy paste this one, style one, go back to here, and then here, just add the space here and add this there, not that much. Let me make it a little bit smaller. So now what's happened? I said, okay, for the P, which is here, I want to change the font size to 20 pixel and then color black and background color red. So if I click on OK, then I will have here. So that's what change happened. So the background color here, this one, changed to red, as you can see here, and then the color is black, color of font is black, and font size is 20. So if I want to change the color of the font size, if I put 120, then it will be super big. So let me just make it this one, or I can change it to, for example, 45, and that will change the size of the size of my text to not 450. See, that's 45. So that will be different. And the good thing is, for the color, you can write the color same as the you can write the color. For example, I can write red, I can write green, and that will change. Or you can use the RGB, RGBA, or hex code to change the background color there. Same for the color as well. So I can write the blue, and then that will be blue, and that one the green. So and then I can use the hex code as well. For example, if I want to change the hex code here, I can find it here, just go to the effect, background, yeah, whatever you want. So I want to use this one here. I will copy this one, turn this off, and back here, and just rather than green, I will add this one. So that will change the color of the background to that one. Or I can use the RGB code or RGBA code. So those items are very important for us. So what I want to do, I want to add this slicer, and then we give this option to the end user to change the size of the font we use here with the slicer, to say, okay, change it. When they change this slicer value, the font size will be changed. So what I need for that one, I want to add the field parameter here. So I want to say new parameter whole number from 0, and the maximum font size I want to say 100, but the 0 is very small. So I want to make it 15 to 100 and increment 1, and that will ask me add the slicer to the page. I will say yes, and let me change this font size to this one. So what will this what if parameter, the output of that will be a table with the list of the number from 15 to 100, which the increment is 1. So 15, 16, 17 to the 100. And I want to add the slicer to the page, because the end of it, the goal is to connect that slicer to this code and be able to change the size of the font with that slicer. So click OK. So we have a slicer here. We'll move it to here, make it a little bit smaller to here. Okay, so now we have this one. Let me just change it to a T, for example. Now this one here, when we create that one, as you can see here, when we create the parameter, that will return to one table and one measure. The table is the generate series from 15 to 101, and that will create that table. That table with the number of the we mentioned here font size. You can see from 15 to 100. So with that code, and then this measure is the font size value, and that's the selected value of the font size. So whatever you put here was selected by this slicer, this measure will return that. So if I add this measure to this card, so we'll be receive a return 30. So if I change it to 34, that will receive 34 to 34. So I want to use this one in my HTML code. So back to my HTML code. So I need to I want to add the variable here. So for everything, I want to say add the font size here, and that will be font size here. So I just want to set this variable. Let me just make it a little bit, yeah, font size, okay, and that will be this equal to that measure, and then the return this code. But this one, I want to change it. So if I want to add this variable to my HTML code, I need to close this double quotation to here, then said, okay, like a text, then said, okay, add this one with this one, and then the double quotation. So I will close it here, then close it here, and then add, say, okay, and to add stick those texts to each other, that that variable I added again, and then start this one here. So what's happened from here to here is text that will add with this two with the add this number in the middle of this and then continue the text. So let's say okay. So it will be like now it's a little bit smaller. So if I change this to 22, that will change the text size. So I now can give this option, can add this slicer on my report, share it with the end user, and the end user can just select which size it's suit for them to see those texts very well. So this is the first one we want to do here. But now, if I back to code, I want to highlight some part of this code. So I can highlight it by some codes. For example, I said, let me just change the background color here, remove the background color from here. Okay. Or I just want to say RGBA 0000, which is the transparent color. See, so it's now same as we said, no background color. So what I want to do, I want to highlight this bootcamp with different colors. So what I can do, I can use the tag mark here, and then I need to close it after bookmark. So mark and click OK. That will be highlighted by yellow. And then we need to make sure to close it here. Otherwise, if I close this one, that will be highlighted to the end. So because there is no end for that one, that will be highlighted from the start to the end. So we need to make sure to close it between the where we want to close the highlight. But what I want to do, I want to highlight my code, my text with different colors. So I want to highlight this app, for example, with blue, this one with yellow, this one with green, or sometimes I want to do that as a dynamic color. So I want to set, for example, I want to write the description of the sales we have. I want to check that, okay, the sales of this month is less than last month, and what is bigger this year is more than the last year. So I want to check if it's less, for example, red, or if it's more than that, show it as a green. So I will show you how you can do this. So we don't need the mark one because mark will return the highlight with yellow, but we need to use the span. So I have it here on the screen. To save the time, let me just copy paste it here. So here, and here, so let's bag it here. So I can add the span here, and then I need again to close the span here. What we can do with the span will change the style of that part of text which is between the span start and finish. So we can define the different style for this one. For example, I said the span style is background color, this code, or I can see just the green and click OK. So that will return, as you can see, let me select this one. The background of this is now green. I can say, okay, light green. So now it's a light green. And I can write again the formula for that one and say, okay, if it's more than that number, make it red, or not is the green, and then back return that here. So it's easy, easy for that one, but to save time, because we did the same thing here. So I think explaining that is not, doing that is not that hard. So you do the same way. You can use the same way to add the right here and then define the different numbers, the different type of color for that background one. And I can add the background color, for example, for here, the Biz app, and then close it. And then say, okay, this one is blue. So I can, blue is not good. So let's say, yellow, no, not yellow, purple. Okay, so light purple. No, it doesn't have to line. That pepper is okay. So that I can say, okay, the Biz app with this color and the bootcamp with this different background color. So you can play with that one and create a very nice text box with different color, which which catch the eyes of the end user, and that end user will pay attention with the colors. So if the red, if the is the green, they can find that it's a good situation or a bad situation or whatever you want to explain with those colors. I will remove this one from here, from the Bees app. I want to keep my codes as short as possible. Okay, so now we added the background color here. So now the next part is to add the Google font to our code. So yes, we can define that we can use the Google font in our let me just make it smaller, make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so now we are limited when we want to create a text box here. We are limited to this set of the tag fonts. We can do some things with the JSON file of the method when we save the file, and then we can go there and change the fonts by changing the font names in the JSON files of the model. But if we want to just use the different code, different fonts for the text box, we can use the text box. We can use the Google font. So here, if I show you the Google font, we have different million Google fonts here, and we want to be able to use some of these Google fonts on our report. For example, if I found one of these nice one, for example, let me just categorize this with the handwriting, and then use this one. Okay, I want to use this font on my report. So what I need to do, I need to use the API here. So I need to use the API and then style my for text with that one. So here I can use this one API. If you search for the Google font API HTML, then you can find it on net here. Text is defined here. You can see it's here, defined here. So I have it here. So I just need to copy paste this one to my code. So back to here again. And then I want to add it here. Add it here. And then I need to remove this one because I have this star. I just need to add this form family one to here. Okay. So what I need to do, so now I said, oh, not this much here. So I want to link, I want to set the API to get the information from Google and then set this font family to match the fonts with that one and then use that on my text hold. So here, if I click on this one and click OK, the font will change to the Sophia, which I mentioned here. So what I can do, I can go to the Google font, find this one, for example, just copy this name, back to here, change this one, and this one as well. So to select all of both together and change it, you need to press Ctrl+Shift+L to select both, and that's Ctrl+V. That will change both of them. If you click on this one, that will change the font size. Your text box now is totally unique because you use the different fonts which is from this Google font. So your report is now connected to the net with that API, pull the information from there, and then customize the font of this one. Now you can add this slicer here and give this option to the end user to select the different fonts. How? I created this table, Google font, with these three name of the fonts, Sophia, Lobster, and Kevin. So I can add that one as a slicer to the page. If I select this one, make it as a slicer, bring it back here, and in my code, I can create another variable where Google font, and I would say selected value, and then I want the font, Google font. Whatever I select here, that will return to this. So if not select any, oh no, let's keep it as it. Okay, so now I need to replace this one with those names. So here, I will close this one here, and then remove this one, and then add to the Google font, and then again this one. Okay, so that's good. And then here I need to change it as well. So just copy this one and paste it here. Click OK. So now that the font will change because I didn't select anything here. So that's the default font for that one. But if I click on the Sophia, the font will change. If I say, click on this one, so okay, it will be changed. So now you can find all of the fonts you like them. Just browse on this website, select those fonts you need, just add the names, just create a table with those names. Very simple table with the one question, sorry, with one column and different names you selected here. And then with this code and this slicer, you can give another option to the end user to change the font size of the text box. Or if you want to create some text box with different color to make your report unique and make it beautiful, more and different than the other reports, you can select this one. So that's the thing I selected here about that font family. Why I added there? Because when we want to pull the information from the Google font, we need, with the font family, we need to show to specify the font for an element. So font family is the name of the font, like a font family. So we selected, for example, Sophia, we selected that one as name as well. So don't forget, when you added this, you need to define the font family. If you search on net, you can find many information about that. Just want to save time to follow to cover the other areas. So this is it. So let's go to the mark you. If you have any question, feel free to unmute yourself or send your question on the chat box. Okay, so Mark, so why want to use this one? Can we use HTML, JavaScript charts in this tool? Well, if you have the JavaScript, you need to use, no, not the JavaScript. HTML and CSS is available here. But for JavaScript, there is another custom visual, but I haven't used that, Mohammed. I'm not sure how you can use it. But if you search it here, Java, I think there was something before for that one. I will search for that one. But now you cannot find that JavaScript because if you select that JavaScript, you have three parts. One of them is the HTML, one CSS, and one is JavaScript, and you can't apply that one. And as far as I know now, it can't, because I searched for some JavaScript. I wanted to implement that and use that on my code, but I couldn't find the type of way to use that JavaScript code on my phone, on my visual. Unfortunately, not. So the other things I want to talk about is the marquee tag. The marquee tag is the HTML tag which will add some scrollable text or image, will add the movement to your text. So if you have a, for example, a very busy report with, and you are limited to these canvas, okay, and you have many visuals here. First of all, have many visuals on one page is not a good thing because that will affect your performance. But you have, so for example, 4 or 3 or 5 visuals which are big, and you don't have enough time, enough space to add the text box. What you can do, you can add the text box here, and then with the marquee code, you can show that, like, you can add it, you can add the code like this to, and add a movement to that to start it from the right to left. So show the name, show the text with this group head to start from here and then go to the end and then show everything. So end user can open your report at the bottom, at the top. They can read the information, same as the advertisement around the football, soccer fields. You can see everything move there. So that has many advantages. You can save this space. You can make your report many different than the other reports, and there are many other options for you. You can add many items to that one. So how we can use that marquee to our report? So again, we need to just add the marquee code to the end of this one. So before the P, So I want to say, okay, mark you this one, and I want to close that mark you here. Close it here. Oh. So there are three field or three options for that mark queue. So now I added the mark queue. You saw it started from down to go up. So we have the scroll amount, which is the speed of the scroll. So it's 20 now. I can change it to, and it's 20 now. I can change it to 2, and it will be super fast, super slow. So it will start from down, very slow. You can see it. To go up. So that will define the speed of that. So if I change it to 10, it will be faster. And if I fix it as 100, it will be like a flash down. So I will keep it as 100. And then we have the behavior. So we have three different behavior here: scroll, slide, and alternate. Let's check them with each other. Check those items. So we have this slide. We saw that one. We'll start from the direction we define, and we'll stop at the end of the because it's limited to the size of this one. So if I make this bigger, it will start from here and stop there. But and if I make the visual bigger, it will start here and go down up. So it depends. That depend the scroll will the slide will say, okay, start from the direction, the bottom, and stop when it's done at the top and when it appears. But we can check it as a scroll. You can change it to the scroll. And the scroll is non-stop, will start and go, disappear, and then start from the from beginning. So it will start from the bottom, go up, and again disappear and appear. So that will unlimited will be done. But the other one is the alternate. The other one is the alternate. We just copy paste it here, save some time. So alternate is, it means it will bounce between that area, between those two borders. So it will go up and down. And then we have the direction. We can define the different direction here. If I change it to left, so it will go left and right, because now it's into the alternate. I can change it to the scroll to make sense then. So if I change it to the screw, it will start from the right and will go to the left. So the left is the direction of this phone. So if I change it, this text, if I change it to right, then it will start from the left and go to the right. And then different, same for the up and down. So we can say up, go the up, from down to up, and then down as well. Different ones. So I will keep it as a alternate. With the capital A. So then here I want to say left to be left and right, like that one. And then you can see it will go, is it was limited because alternate will limited there, and we go left and right. So that's pretty much everything about MarkQ. And the other thing I want to talk about is the image. So here, because I use the bookmark and added this one, whenever I click on this, will remove all formats there. So let me just make it smaller. Okay. Now we want to use the images with the HTML code. So we can add the images here, insert, and then add the image here. But if you want to add more images there, if you add an image there, that will impact the size of your file. But you can just use this code, and that will, like API, that will act like an API. You can have the file and the website file, and find the photo image on the website, and then connect that to your report. We'll save the size, and then you can change the size of that. You can add the many function to that one. But if you want to use that, you need to use the image tag. And then with the image tag, you can add the report, the file you have, and that is source need to be like this. So online source, or if you have an image on SharePoint or cloud or whatever, so that source will define that one. So I will just copy this one and add it to my code. So before the marquee, okay, let me just bring it down and edit this here. So what will happen? The image will be added to here. So because there is no image here, let me just remove this one and check just the image. let me make this close. Okay, that doesn't work. So let me back to here. Okay, open this one. For example, I selected this flag. I select the flag of India, and then I want to copy this and show that in my report. So I will right click on this one. I don't want to copy image. I don't want to save the image. I just need the image address because I need the source, which is the online source. So here, let me bring this back and then add this here. Okay, add it here as a source. As what I did, I added this here. Okay, as a source. Again, between the quotation, one quotation and one quotation, and click OK. So that will show the image of the India here. See, here, image and India here, and then the font. What I wanna do, I have the finance details here, a table of the finance data with the different countries, with the different values here, and I want to show some text here with some information which I have here. So I want to add the table here with this finance values. So for example, the countries, and then I want to show the sales. Where is the sales? Sales here. So yeah. So okay. Okay. So I have this one. Keep it here. So I want to show add a text here to when I select each of them, that will show that and say the total sales of this company, this country is this amount. So I want to add a slicer here as a countries, and then what I want to do, change this text, say, where is that one? Mark Q P between those two P, and say, okay, the total sale of country is this amount. So I need two variable here. First of all, the variable to select the country, to return the country and select it. So it's a country. So then say selected value, and then the country. That's it. So, and then the second one is the total amount of the sales. So sales. And then this will be a summation of the sales we have here. So I need to add it there again, same as before, the total sales of country. So just replace it with the country, and then add it here. And then the value is again same method. So double quotation and the sales, and keep it here. Okay. So let's click OK to see what we have here. The total size of this, let's remove this, is 1118, which is the total value of here, the number here, because I didn't select anything here. And that's because I didn't select anything, that measure will return nothing, the zero, no name. So if I select the Canada, then that will say the total size of Canada is 24, same as this number. What I can do, I want to show the flag of that country before the name of that country. So what I did, I have a code which is here, and that's the country name, as you can see here, the country name here. But I want to say remove that one, because if I want to make that dynamic to change this one with those names. So okay, so here, if I back to this and let's check the Canada one, just here, search for Canada flag, here, Canada flag icon. And if I copy this one, copy this image address, and paste it here, so that will show the Canada here as an example here. So that will change the Canada. But I want to make that dynamic and say add it here. So back to HTML here, create another one for another variable for, let me just make it smaller, country flag. And then say the country flag will be this code, but this Canada here will be the name of the country we selected. So again, close this one, and that country. Okay, country. Okay, I forgot to close this one here. So double quotation, and then the country, and then and close this one here, and then the double quotation at the end. And then rather than this one, I will remove this one, and then here, just before the country, I want to add another. I want to add another one, which is the flag. So I want to say flag, country flag, and then country name. So I click on OK. Oh, sorry. And okay, yeah. So that doesn't work because my country is with a capital L, but that one is lower L. So I will say lower case this one, and then work. And then run it again. So again, that doesn't work. Maybe I forgot to do something. And this one, okay, and country flag, okay, and the country, um, country flag again, and this one. So okay, so let me check this one and make sure that will return my code first, and then back to the P. So here I want to say the country flag here. Let me copy this one, bring it back here, and then okay, to see that shows the country flag at the top or not. So it says it doesn't work, so it's something is not right, correct there. So I make that one lower, and this one here, I need to remove this one. That should be okay now. Oh yeah. So here there was one space which I didn't remove that. Okay, so click on OK. So now I have a Canada. Total sales of Canada is this amount. So I can go back. This is the same as this one. Select the France, and that will change the France and show the flag of France there. In Germany, if I select that one, that will show the Germany there, and we can change the format of this color or format the different things. Just a quick one. How much time do I have when the next session will be started? Because I know there was 45 minutes for me for each session, and I passed that one.
Yes, the next session was supposed to be 1 minute before.
Okay.
But we can take a few minutes and summarize it.
Okay, so I think I need more time for video, but let's finish it right now. But there is one question there. Mohammed asks, did you get a chance to see if we could use the HTML video or iframe tag to embed external? You can't use the iframe. Nowhere in there in this, and that's because of the policy of the Microsoft and for the custom visuals. I had many discussions with them, so it's not possible to do that. What you can do, you can use the tag video. You can use the tag video, and then you need to have some MP4 value for that. For example, let me just do this fast. Ted, I will select this video, and I want to show that on my there. Show that there. So if I click on share MP4, right click on this one, copy the link. Okay, we create another one here, and then in this one create this video. I created something before here. This one. Okay, so now what I created, I use the video tag with the width and the height and the control, and the source is that where that link I copied there. So if I click OK, add the HTML visual here and add that measure there, that will give you option to play your video there. But not from this is the same video as we have there and here. So not from the YouTube. You can't do that because for the YouTube you need to use the iframe. You can use some other sources, but you need to make sure the output of that should be compatible with the MP4. So like this one. So TED is possible. You can find some other free website to publish your video there and then use the HTML to use it, but not iframe. I hope I answered your question and get it correctly first. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
No worries. Thank you, everyone. And sorry, I spend 3 minutes of the next speakers. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking out time for this session and for answering all the questions. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Okay.